Good afternoon, sports fans from all across Florida, across the nation, and potentially even the world. I am pleased to be joining you here from St. Petersburg, Florida, here in the beautiful, beautiful campus of USF St. Petersburg, home of the Bulls, Hawaii Bowl champions. And this is the first edition of Mic'd Up. I'm your host, Michael Schneider. And I'm pleased to be here bringing you lots of stuff that has been happening over the past week. We're deep within the NFL offseason. College football starts in 34 days. Last Saturday, yesterday, was the fifth Saturday out from the start of the season that begins in Dublin, Ireland, between the Kansas State Wildcats and the Iowa State Cyclones. And the NFL season starts within the next few weeks. The preseason kicks off with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers actually have a lot of news on this. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening with them over the past week. I'd say not a lot of major stuff, other than obviously the retirement of Mike Williams. But regardless of that very unfortunate news, hope everyone is having a great day. I'm trying my best to, especially after last night. Watching the Atlanta Braves blow 2 5-run leads was a horrible experience for me, and I know I will experience it again, because Brian Snitker just does not know how to run a ball, a team. And our bullpen can't save us for our lives. We come out and we just shut out with our bats. There's a few guys holding up the load. The rest of the guys are just kind of sitting back and watching. Ronald Acuna went about, I believe, 0-4, which is a very rare sighting. Maybe he was just exhausted from all the All-Star game, whatnot. No excuses, but at the end of the day, Ronald Acuna has been a huge part of a lot of our success. I wouldn't say our World Series because he was injured halfway through. But regardless of there being literally no football, there's been a lot of stuff going on within the past week. A lot of contracts being made. Uniform swaps, new uniforms coming through. Chargers and the Buccaneers, they made some new additions. Obviously you have the Commanders who paid homage to their old Redskins. I don't think I can say that. Their old uniforms. Clearly, people want them to go back to the Redskins. There's obviously controversy. We can go into a whole different story about that. But I'm just going to kick it off with the NFL. There's weirdly a lot of news going on within the NFL, a lot of movement. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner with the Jets. The Jets just blew a bag and a half on them. I believe it's somewhere around 250 million on both of them. Sauce Gardner with a 4-year, $120.4 million contract. That makes him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. Recently, I believe that was Derek Stingley that had that record. And we have Garrett Wilson with a 4-year, $130 million. And that makes him the 4th highest paid wide receiver in annual salary. I believe the annual for him was around somewhere like 30 million. I believe that was for him. Jamar Chase, I believe, is at the top of that. He well deserved for him. He's one of the best in the league. But they secured both those guys through 2030. They're kind of just reworking their contracts from their rookie contracts. It's great foundational pieces to have for them. I really hope that Justin Fields has a field day with Garrett Wilson there. I believe he will. I think that's just what Justin Fields needs. Just kind of a new structure. If only they didn't fire Robert Saleh last year. I don't know why they did that. He was definitely not the issue in New York. But that's just a Jets thing to do, to take out what's not the issue. But like I said, Jets, they got some guys for a while, some great guys at that too, some outstanding players, top 5 receiver, and easily a top 3 cornerback. Dare to say he's up there, probably one of the best. Von Miller, it's been confirmed now 100% due to his ring chasing. Signs a 1-year, $6.1 million deal with the Washington Commanders, a team that was just in the NFC Championship game with their first-year cornerback, Jaden Daniels. It's working. Regardless, the ring chasing is working. But if he doesn't get a ring this year, or I believe that this is it. This is it for him. He hasn't been playing. I mean, it's kind of hard for him to replicate that with how old he is to be what he used to be on the Broncos. But I mean, it's out the door almost for him. That's unfortunate because he's such a good player and definitely one of the best at his position all time. But yeah, sticking on the NFL topic, TJ Watt signs a 3-year, $123 million extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers, making him the highest annually paid non-quarterback in NFL history. With it was somewhere in the 40s, getting paid a ton, and especially on a 3-year deal. I mean, you'd see that in like 4 or 5-year contracts, like with Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. But I mean, regardless, I mean, it's well deserved. One of the best, if not the best, edge rushers in the league. You know, you got him up there with people like Myles Garrett. But it's just great for him. Great for him to get paid finally. You know, but yeah. On to next, we have the ESPYS. The ESPYS was the 33rd edition this past week. There's been a lot of people got different hardware. There's some variety. You know, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, he got a few awards. I think he was the most decorated at the ESPYS, if I'm not mistaken. He won the male athlete of the year. Simone Biles with the female. The Philadelphia Eagles, they got a lot of stuff. Saquon Barkley, he got the best play of the year with his backwards hurdle against the Jaguars. And the Philadelphia Eagles won Team of the Year. Well, last time I checked, the Team of the Year didn't lose the Atlanta Falcons on prime time and earlier on in the season. So I don't know. Like, I'm still saying the Falcons should have won the Super Bowl, but you know, that's a discussion for a whole other time. Kind of bouncing back to mainly the NFL, like I said earlier, like I was hinting at the kind of like a uniform carousel. I wasn't going to talk mainly about the Commanders because, I mean, it really, regardless of whether they're changing up the style, it just, everybody knows and they know that they should switch back to their old uniforms. But regardless, the new uniforms look nice. But on that topic, the Buccaneers, they recently dropped the creamsicles with the orange tops. Now they're doing the all-white creamsicle. They will be debuting it against the Seattle Seahawks, who will also be wearing their throwback uniforms on October 5th in Week 5. It is a rematch of the Expansion Bowl. Back away when they first came to the league, they played. That was one of the first games they played against each other, and that'll be special. I don't believe that's in primetime though, unfortunately. But yeah. So the Chargers, they release all yellow. They release yellow jerseys. They release the powder blue pants, and they kind of rework the navy blue uniforms, kind of make it more accurate to the LaDainian Tomlinson days, the Phillip Rivers, all that era of guys. You know, they're just kind of loading up their uniform arsenal. Compared to the Buccaneers, I don't think anyone really, as much as it pains me to say this as an Atlanta Falcons fan, I don't think anyone really has the uniform arsenal that the Bucs have now, having the regular creamsicles, the all-white creamsicles, which the Buccaneers will be using the regular creamsicles Thursday Night Football later in the season here in Raymond James against the Atlanta Falcons, which I will 100% be there. Michael Penix is going to torch the Buccaneers defense. Baker Mayfield's not going to be able to keep up with them. That's just my honest truth, and that's the truth that everyone should accept at this point. But I kind of went off track. But back to the Chargers. When it comes to their all yellows compared to the navy blues, the powder blues, the yellow, compared to what I've seen over the years, it doesn't look bad. But I don't think anyone can ever really like execute a all yellow uniform well in the NFL, because it literally just looks like somebody pissed on a blank canvas. I mean, it looks way better than the Jaguars, what they had a while ago, and even then, I mean, it's still horrible. It just looks like mustard. It's disgusting. And I hope I believe, what was it? They actually debut the yellows against the Colts in Week 7. The navy will be worn against the Vikings and the Raiders. Vikings, they play Week 8. Raiders, their matchup Week 13. But yeah, the navies are definitely a hit. Powder blues are a hit. the yellow. They'll probably grow on me over time, but I don't know. I just all yellow uniforms in the NFL just don't work for me. But yeah, sticking with the Chargers topic, uh, very, very disappointing news for a Mike Williams supporter. This past week, Mike Williams, his agent, reported to the team that he will be stepping away from football after 8 seasons. And let me tell you, this dude was a fantasy star for me. I remember having him on a team with Sammy Watkins and having him on a prime Lamar Jackson, which Lamar Jackson, don't get me wrong, he's still in his prime, but that was I think that was his first MVP season. I had Sammy Watkins on the Chiefs. I had, Mike Williams, Chargers, that whole trifecta. But it's very disappointing to hear that looking at his numbers, I'm shocked. I thought he definitely was way better than anybody, anybody really gave him credit for. Regardless, he was 330. He caught 330 balls on 546 targets. He had a little over 5,000 reception yards and 32 touchdowns. He had a 15.5 reception average after catch. But regardless, the 7th round pick in 2017, or not the 7th round, the 7th pick, first round in 2017. Regardless, he's had a great career. I believe, even then, he's kind of like that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 that, you can always trust on. I believe that watching him and Herbert play was, special. But someone else always comes in that's just kind of steals the show, like Ladd McConkey or, Keenan Allen. He had to sit under Keenan Allen for so long. And then when he finally leaves and Ladd McConkey comes in, just plays like prime Randy Moss. Someone like T.O., Ladd McConkey is a special guy. I see that the Chargers, they kind of take a step up. They just have to get Justin Herbert help on the offensive line. He just has to get the ball to Ladd McConkey. It's just inevitable that he will get just plundered by any NFL defensive line. It's just the way it is. But that kind of concludes all the stuff that I wanted to talk about, sports wise. And it'll be All-Star game. Also, All-Star game had it, as you know, it was in Atlanta. And they had a tribute to Hank Aaron that passed away a few years back. Had a great tribute to him. It was like a hologram show almost, like a projector show of him hitting his 715th home run, passing Babe Ruth all time. Personally, in my opinion, Hank Aaron's the GOAT. People can say what they want about Babe Ruth, but come on, dude. It's just like everybody knows Babe Ruth. But Hank Aaron, I believe Hank Aaron is just special. And honestly, that whole ordeal with him in 2021, that was the reason I believe the Braves won the World Series. And that's unfortunately the reason that Brian Snitker is still in office in Atlanta. And that's unfortunate because, regardless of what he does or doesn't do, which typically is the doesn't do part, we are a horrible team. We literally came out and beat out of the All-Star break, beat the Yankees, one of the best teams in the league, just came off a World Series. Or no, they didn't come off a World Series. They lost the World Series. But they were a team that leveled up with Jazz Chisholm, and they had Juan Soto. They had all these guys, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. I really thought, they really had all of us fooled. Braves played, I know Ozzie Albies and a couple other guys played lights out last night, but the bullpen just could not keep up at all. We literally were up 5-0. The Yankees scored a couple runs. We scored a couple after that. And then by the time the 9th inning came around, it was 8-8. I'm like, what? Where did we go wrong? Raisel Iglesias was our closer. And as I'm tuning into the live stream of this game, I see a grand slam. And I didn't even see it actively happen. I just saw grand slam on the scoreboard, nearly punched a hole through my computer. It was so frustrating. The team is in shambles. Game three, I believe, just started not too long ago, and we'll see if we can kind of bounce back and win the series. I don't have any more hope left for this team. I don't know why we're not eliminated from the playoffs yet, but regardless, that's kind of all the main sports news today. And here's the last thing I want to talk about. A segment that I wanted to start. The name isn't too spicy. It's not anything crazy. It's literally called Mike on the Move. And basically, as fall rolls around, all these major sports come in. You got college football here at USF. They're starting their season kind of coming off a bowl game win. Expectations are, from what I'm hearing from other people, they're not as high, which is unfortunate because they just won a bowl game, despite being they were 8-5, 7-5, somewhere around there. But there's a lot of stuff going on. You got the Crimson Tide and the Seminoles up in Tallahassee late August to kick off the season for college football. That's going to be I'm saying it's going to be a huge one, but it's really just going to be a blowout. I mean, Thomas Castellanos literally was benched at Boston College. He was literally benched last school he played at, a mediocre school. And dudes over here saying all this, oh, they don't have Saban, they can't stop me. They're going to do more than stop you, buddy. They're gonna run through you, respectfully. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to be tapped in with the USF over here. We play Boise State week 1. Personally, that's going to be a blowout on our side because we're going to destroy them. They're not anything without Ashton Johnson. And then we'll kind of double dabble in some NFL stuff. Like I said, Buccaneers, Falcons, Thursday Night Football. They're both wearing the throwbacks. Falcons are going to wear the red helmets, the black. The red helmets, the black throwback uniforms. The Buccaneers, I believe they're wearing the orange creamsicles. So it's going to be a nice matchup to watch. I'll definitely be there for that. Maybe do some segment on that beforehand. But the main thing I think that kind of sparked Mike on the Move was that the sport that I mainly cover, football, I mainly am invested in. There's a lot of that throughout the state. There's the Jaguars, their stadium. There's obviously Raymond James here, 20, 30-minute drive at most, I'd say. There's Camping World Stadium actually in Orlando. They used to host the Pro Bowl games before they completely butchered the Pro Bowl games. Back when you had Odell Beckham Jr. That you had the prime era of college football or of Pro Bowl football. Now it's flag football and just completely disgusting now. I mean, the games are like the only thing that people really watch, like the catching competitions and the obstacle courses, the dodgeball games. I mean, I don't really know one person that's actually invested in the flag football game. I mean, whatever, it's to stop injuries, but there was also stuff. I mean, it's not like they went full on at Camping World Stadium how they used to do it, but and then there's also Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And yeah, so kind of like my main thing was just going around all these stadiums, kind of just doing like my own little reporting on it, kind of dibble-dabbling into the history of the stadium. A lot of guys that have come through, like, you got Raymond James Stadium, you got, the GOAT Tom Brady that used to play there, literally won the Super Bowl in that stadium first year that he was here. You have the iconic team with Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. A lot of those guys work done, an old legend that used to play in that stadium. But that was kind of like my thing. For Mike on the Move, that was kind of like my first segment that I wanted to do. That I think that was kind of unique. But I think that was an easy thing that I could kind of get executed because other than Miami, because Miami's so far out of the way. Everything from here on, like up north, is kind of free game because you got Orlando, you got obviously down here Jacksonville. It's not like too clumped of an area. But yeah, so that will conclude episode 1 of Mic'd Up. Hope everyone enjoyed. Like I said before in my intro segment, bear with me. This is going to be a long and very, 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 I don't want to say difficult, but there's going to be a lot of obstacles that come with it. For first episode, I think this was pretty good, but it's just kind of like a learning experience. And barring anything that pops up that I do over the week, I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a great rest of your day. God bless. Like I said before, chase your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you what or what not to do. Make today a great day. And I'll catch you next Sunday, like I said before. That is Mic'd Up. I'm your host, Michael Schneider, and I'll catch you later.